What up, bro? So, this right here is my dude Jared, in town from Detroit, and both of us we really like to make content, right? Like that's our biggest thing right now. We're trying to figure out ways how we can continue to make content so we can grow our businesses and be able to do the things we want to do, like everyone else. So this right here, completely no script, no anything. Just thought it might be a good idea because we're having a good conversation about just business, personal training, what I do, what he's starting to get into. So we thought we might as well just record it, record some of the questions he has. I can give some insight, what I've experienced being a trainer for over 7 years now. Can't believe it's been 7 years, but yeah, so that's going to be pretty much what this is. Just a little information. You might find something from it. If you're trying to become a personal trainer, an online personal trainer, then this might be a video that you can take some notes on and see if it helps you. If you're not interested in it, maybe you can just laugh at us talking, whatever, or skip to the next video.
Just kicking the shit.
Yep, we're just cooling. It's a little couch talk edition, just hanging out, cooling with my homie, and trying to help each other grow. So, for sure.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it.
Of course, man.
Appreciate you letting me come in, and it's been a minute since last year. We haven't seen each other since this whole pandemic started.
Right.
But man, since the last time I seen you though, on Instagram, you had I believe 20,000. It's like 19,000 followers. And you was doing the same fitness thing. You was training people. You've been training people for a while.
Right.
But it's not like your following was like huge. Now, what is it?
I'm at 144K followers currently. When I first met you in Los Angeles, almost over 2 years now, somewhere around 2 years ago, I was hovering around that 18, 20K.
See?
And then since the pandemic, I've gotten over 100K followers, kind of pretty consistently. It's been a pretty constant growth. You've had months where it was less than others, but definitely a success. And because of that, my online business has definitely grown. So it's been a blessing, and just trying to continue to learn because the algorithm with Instagram and all their social media platforms is forever changing and growing. You have to adapt with the time. So
yeah, see, that's crazy to me, bro. Because as soon as I seen you blow up, I had way too many questions. But first of all, I'm gonna ask a question that commonly everybody's probably wondering.
Right.
How did you blow your page up? Like, okay, so first of all, what was like the first instance that like your page blew up? Like, what did you put out? Like, was it some viral content?
So
what was you doing?
Back in when I lived in Los Angeles in Playa Vista, around the time you and I first met, so about 2 years ago, when I first moved to LA, had 10. I had 10K. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know if you remember this, but you were an influential part of this process. We had posted a video where I was doing a kettlebell swing, and I had my shirt off looking all shredded. I still had my ponytail back then, and I think we did a workout with Roj. Shout out to Roj. I don't think you'll ever watch this, but maybe. We were doing a workout with Roj, and I just nailed the cover photo in that. I don't remember who was recording, you or Roj, but one of you guys just nailed the cover photo. And from that point on, I tried to simulate that because that was my first post that really got a lot of engagement, and it hit the Explore page. I'm not exactly sure why it hit the Explore page. That's something I've yet to discover, why things hit the Explore page. But if you just so happen to hit the Explore page, you want to try to duplicate that. The same thing that you did, try to duplicate it. So that's what you and I did, and Roj did. If you remember, we were doing, because the structure of that video was a superset. I did a superset workout. I did like something like that, where it was just a simple workout, and the next post, I try to duplicate the same thing. Nail the cover photo, same concept with the workout, same concept with the caption, and it hit the Explore page again. So then from that point on, I only did those specific type of posts, and it was getting me really good traction. So I went from 100, or I keep saying 100, I went from 10K to 20K in that period. I don't know if you remember, do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were killing it. We were doing content. We were working out. Our physiques were killing it. We were getting great results. We were carb cycling, on diets and everything. Our physiques were looking good. Our content was looking good. We were on a nice hot streak. And then I went to China.
Uh-oh.
I mean, it was a phenomenal experience.
When did you go to China? So
It was summer of 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a phenomenal experience. I loved it. But in China, if you've never been to China, they do not allow you to have easy access to platforms such as Instagram, YouTube, all the Facebook, all the platforms that we use here. You have to use a VPN in order to bypass the whatever type of blocks that they have while you're on the mainland China. You can't access those unless you use a VPN. A VPN is just a way that you can work around those and still have access to things like Instagram and other websites that may have been blocked by China's government. So because I was using the VPN, this is all my guessing. I'm not 100% sure if this is exactly what happened. But I assume because I was showing my IP address on my phone was showing that I was in different locations because I was setting my VPN to places like Toronto, somewhere in the United States, etc. So I was always showing up on different places on my IP address to Instagram. So of course it's going to look very spammy and very awkward. It's like no one can be in that many places at once. So I believe that process put me in a red flag, a bad space with Instagram, and you can get the shadow ban or whatever it may be.
So you got shadow banned then.
Yeah, that's what I believe happened because my engagement completely dropped. I was doing so good before I left for China. I was doing amazing. We were killing it, going up a 10K in a couple months.
Sure. Yeah.
And then as soon as I went to China, all that stuff happened. Literally, I went from gaining like probably 100 followers a day to like losing followers in China. So my engagement was horrible. My reach was horrible. I wasn't getting any traction. And then once I got back from China, I was back in the States and I was still having those problems. I could never really pick it back up until 2020, the pandemic came. And I don't know, maybe it's because a lot of people were on their phones at this time because you couldn't do anything else. You're on Instagram, and I was able to kind of get a kickstart. And I've been in Instagram's good place. I haven't done any VPNs or anything to get my account flagged in a long time, multiple months. So I think maybe Instagram allowed me to be able to grow again, show my account again. And from there on, I've just been able to continue what we were doing back in Playa Vista. And continue that, making sure I nail the cover photos, making sure that everything that I have, every post that I have, shows value, and it's just continue to grow. I mean, there's more specifics to it than that, and we can break it down into more details if you have more specific questions about specific things. But yeah, it was more of just a process of consistency and making sure that I wasn't doing anything negatively to become flagged or shadow banned by Instagram, because my content has always been quality. But for example, if I used music that you have to appeal, that's a red flag. If I have to, if I did something extra sexual or something, it could get flagged because people are reporting it. If there's anything that could be sketchy, people report, or there's music.
So no thirst traps.
You can do thirst traps, but do it respectfully. Don't do it where people are gonna go crazy and flag your page and whatnot.
Hey, yo, I'm good at thirst traps.
Yeah, so just always try to stay on Instagram's good side, because as soon as you get flagged, they're always in control. The algorithm, if you're doing something negatively, if you're spamming, if you're using different type of services to do the like for like and follow for follow, all that stuff is going to end up hurting you in the long run because your account is going to get flagged. They're onto this. They know what people are trying to do in order to grow their accounts. And that stuff worked in the past, but not now. They have ways to understand what people are trying to do. So if you're using those services, I would recommend stopping right away.
So what is your take on, like, I know we talking about now growing a page successfully. Like, what is your take on like organically gaining followers? Because I see a lot of people they'll go in other people's followings and they'll follow a whole bunch of random folks just to get more traction to their page, or the list goes on. I mean, I could list 1,000 ways to get followers, but so are you saying that the best way to get followers is to hop on that explore page?
My with my experience, how I gained followers at such a rapid pace was from the Explore page, hands down, for sure. Because you can go, if you have a business account, I think you probably can do it on a personal account too. I'm not 100% sure. But you can look at your insights on each post or just your page in general, and it'll tell you on a post where your followers came from, or like where your reach came from, how many people saw it from your homepage, how many people saw it from the Explore page, how many people saw it from hashtags. And for me, the reach is always crazy in the Explore page. Not always, but when my post does good, the Explore page is the main reason.
So the cover photo is what. So the connection is the cover photo, and then of course like you're consistent, right? So I'm sure that if not one of your photos or videos, many of them can or will hit.
They don't always hit the Explore page.
Okay.
But when they do, the cover photo is on point, so people are going to click on it. The whole process of how to get on the Explore page, people I've talked to, no one really knows. But I do know once you get on there, and if it does well, they'll put you on there again. So you just have to be on the lookout and make sure you check your insights, because maybe you hit the Explore page, you don't even know if you didn't check. Because sometimes you might hit it and just only get a low engagement from it. But maybe that means if you hit it again and if you had a better cover photo, it would have done better. So you just have to make sure that you're aware and checking for that. Checking for the Explore page. That's not the only way you're going to get followers, but that's a huge way that you can make it happen fast. So the connection that you said that's definitely correct, is making sure that the cover photo is awesome. But I think in order to even get onto the Explore page, is the thing you need to think about first. It's like possibly what ways can you make sure that you're in position to be on there, and that's by not doing anything that's going to cause a red flag. Because anything that's going to flag your account is going to limit your reach. So if you're doing something that Instagram doesn't want you to do, why would your page be on the Explore page?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's just, again, this is all just based off personal experience. That's why if you see a lot of my videos, I don't even play audio, because there might be music in the background. It's just easier that way to make sure that there's nothing going on that's going to get flagged. So that's just one thing that I noticed, because previously, before I came back to before I started to get followers again, what I was doing is I was taking videos, because I use a camera. So I use a Sony a7 III camera. And I thought maybe because I was using the camera, Instagram was kind of flagging my account, like they don't want you to use cameras. So I was like, that can't be the case. So many people use cameras. They have great followings, and I see them on the Explore page. What could it be? So I was like, okay, maybe it's the camera. Maybe it's the music. I didn't know. I just assumed it was the music. I was like, I'm just go with the music. But then what I did is I ended up changing the way that I uploaded my videos from my camera. So instead of putting it onto my laptop, my MacBook, and then transferring it from my MacBook after I edited it on Adobe Premiere to my phone, whatever happens in that process, the file changes. I don't know exactly how, but then I realized that anytime I took a video that I edited on my MacBook and uploaded to Instagram, never hit the Explore page. Never does well. Never. Previously, I thought that was happening because of the music, but really it wasn't the music, because I was always using copyright-free music anyway. So the music is copyright-free.
So you're saying the format of the video kind of messed that up too?
So whatever happened with that, I know I haven't done that in months because of that. So now every time that I edit a video on my laptop that I want to put to Instagram.
Take notes, guys. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So anytime I do this, I'll take a video from my laptop that I edited on Adobe Premiere. I want to upload it to Instagram. So you send it to my phone. And then I'm like, well, I can't send it directly because previously I've done this, and Instagram, for whatever reason, does not like this. I don't know why. So what I do is I'll edit it in another software on my phone, and then save it, and it comes out as a different format, like a phone format. Don't know why. Don't know if that's just me overanalyzing. But yeah, it works. Yeah, so it's worth a shot if you're always taking stuff from your computer to your phone, and you're realizing that for whatever reason those posts don't do as well. Because I wasn't the only one experiencing that. I talked to a couple other people that said the same thing. When they take something from their computer and they put it on Instagram, they're like, man, all this dope editing, and it's just not even getting the engagement that my normal phone post does. So
you know a lot. Like, it seems like you know a lot of the in and outs. Obviously,
I mean, it's
trying
just
trying to catch on to the algorithm.
Yeah, it's just a lot of trial and error and seeing what sticks. Like we already talked, but you throw things at the wall and you got to see what sticks and things that you feel like had a negative impact for whatever reason. And it could just be a coincidence, but if you try a certain thing a number of times, it's most likely not a coincidence.
So I'm from the Instagram era a couple of years ago. This is how I got this is how the first, okay, first of all, I got 17,000 followers. But I got like my first 13,000 a few years ago when hashtags, buying like, or getting like on promotion pages or bigger pages.
Yeah, shout outs. Yeah.
Shout out pages and stuff like that. And now it seems like it's changing. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm still stuck at 17, but what is your take like on hashtags, for example? Because I see people using, probably the same amount, but I don't see you using that many.
No, I only use about maybe 3-4 hashtags, and they're all super specific to whatever the post is. For example, if I'm doing a shoulder workout,
right,
I don't just put shoulder workout because obviously that hashtag is probably going to almost be at 1 million.
For sure.
As far as whenever you use a hashtag, you can see how, like, whatever number Instagram shows of people that use that hashtag, even though I feel like those numbers are very inaccurate. I don't even know what that exactly, but obviously the higher the number, the less likely your photo or video is going to show. So I always look for one that is about 1,000, like about 1,000.
So 1,000 uses.
Yeah, so I'll put like full shoulder workout. Because not that many people are going to hashtag full shoulder workout. They might hashtag shoulder workout, but they might not hashtag full shoulder workout.
Okay.
But guess what? Someone's looking for a full shoulder workout.
A full shoulder workout.
Yeah. So like, I look for something, maybe I'll add an S on something. Mm-hmm. Or take away S. If it's workouts, I'll put workout. To figure out ways to make the hashtag number, usage number, drop a way super low. And if I look at my insights, yeah, I do get some engagement from hashtags, but again, it's nowhere near the explore page. So the explore page is what I'm mostly focusing on.
Gotcha.
So I'm not too concerned with hashtags, but of course they can help. And if you have a good hashtag, you never know. Sometimes those hashtags, you'll hit if you look at the insights randomly, there will be a photo, video that went crazy from hashtags. So it's very possible to still be able to get some good engagement from hashtags. I would just recommend that you're looking at the usage and making sure that it's not like at 1 million or even 500K. You want to find something that's around like 2K or less.
Yeah. So look at that. You already teaching me things, bro. I'm going to look back on this video and honestly get my notebook because
yeah, bro,
this is good information, especially, with the whole growing age of, social media. We need to learn how to do this right.
First and another thing that you mentioned there was the shout outs. So I have grown my page this year literally with like almost no one in my videos, just me. And it's not because I want to, it's just because it's been a pandemic and we haven't had the experience to be able to go and network and meet people and go do all these things. So, and when I'm saying shout outs, I mean like being on people's stories. I'm working out with so-and-so.
So like collabs.
Yeah, like collabs or just being in other people's content.
Yeah.
And I haven't done that much this year. And I want to do more of that, but just because the year's been weird with the pandemic. So, and right now I'm in Sacramento, California, so I don't really have too many people that I know here. So I haven't been able to even go out in the community that much. So yeah, it hasn't been a factor, and I've never done like the shout out thing. Like people will shout me out without me knowing. It'll be like some smaller pages, but I've never paid for anything like that. Back, like you said, with the previous Instagram style, I did pay for a service like in like 2015 or something, when it was like someone was going in there or some type of automated system was going in there and liking shit.
Yeah,
and that thing. Yeah, you can't do that now. Yeah. Instagram will flag your account right away, and even if it doesn't flag your account, it doesn't even work anymore because no one cares about likes. It doesn't do anything now. So yeah, that was a thing of the past. If you're doing any of those services, stop now because Instagram will flag your account and you're not going to get anything, not even get a chance to go on the explore page. About to sneeze.
Bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you.
All right, so let's get into the real meat of this conversation, bro, which is why you're even here in the first place, as far as where you at on Instagram, which is your business.
Right.
Like, people know you as like best trainer ever. You know what I'm saying? You the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? I trained with this dude. He's taxed my whole body before. Look, I'm a living testimony. But no, for real. So, diving into your business and coming from somebody like, you know, I'm a young buck. I just got my CPT, you know, not too long ago.
Right.
So I got a couple questions for you, man. And,
Got you, bro, for sure.
And honestly, man, I just want to know, from somebody like me, how would, especially right now, since we're in the pandemic, right? And I could, but how the online business thing is going.
Right.
How would I get started, right? So say, you know, I just got my certification, and I'm looking for clients online. How would I build my page, catered to building an online business only for online, like for Zoom, for building personalized workouts? Like, what is your approach on that?
So, coming from someone who is currently had to make that transition this whole year, I've always wanted to make this transition to completely having my business online, but it's hard to make that transition when you're used to having in-person clients and you have good success with that. And the online space is completely different from the in-person space. They both have their pros and cons, but you and I were free spirits. We want to be able to travel, and most people want to be able to not be tied down to a single location. You want to have that flexibility and freedom, and that's the number one reason why online coaching is such an appealing thing for people to try to achieve.
Right.
So as far as how you can make that happen, of course, you have to make sure that you understand that your Instagram, whatever your main platform is, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you have to have, that's your number one billboard. That's where everything is going to go through. People give a lot of credibility to your Instagram. You know, you could have an awesome website, but they're going to want to know more about you. They're going to look at your Instagram. They might look at your Facebook, whatever your social media platforms are. So you have to make sure that those platforms are prepared and ready. They're literally charged up for you to have these people look at your page and then want to contact you and have an easy way to contact you. So, for example, if you're just posting a post and it doesn't have any value and there's no way for them to, there's no back end goal for them to reach out to you, that post becomes an empty post. I mean, it might be a cool photo, whatever, but there always has to be value behind everything you post. So your whole page has to be, everything you do has to be business minded, because you want to figure out if this is going to be your number one way of making money, then you have to approach this Instagram. If we're talking about Instagram specifically, you have to approach that as a billboard. So you want to present yourself as a leader in your field, whatever your field may be, whatever your niche you're going to try to get into within fitness. So that's the biggest thing, is making sure that everything you do is catered to the client, catered to giving value, catered to people wanting to learn more from you. So when they're thinking about fitness, they think about you. When they think about your page, they think about fitness. So everything has to be going towards that goal, and then also making sure that there's an easy way to contact you. So if you look at my posts, I make it very clear, even if it's just a basic, I just did a shoulder, or I think I did chest day yesterday, a post today. So at the end of the post, it's really simple. If you want me to be your coach, send me a DM. A little sentence like that can make all the biggest difference, because people are going to look at that and be like, oh yeah, maybe I do want him to be my coach. Hit me in my DM. I get DMs all the time, every day. I want you to be my coach. Do most of them actually end up training with me? No. But eventually some do. Some hit.
Convert.
Yeah,
sure.
some convert.
For sure.
But if you don't even have that, if you don't have anything in there that makes them think about working with you, then it's never going to get to that point. Sometimes you need to be even more direct. Not on every post, but on some posts. Like I was telling you this earlier today, like if you're going to be doing something on your story, literally be direct. You know who you're trying to go for. For example, if I'm trying to get people that are trying to lose weight, all I have to do is say on my story, who wants to lose 10 pounds? You know, comment, raise your hand emoji, and I'll get back to you. People will comment. Not everyone's going to convert. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of people that want to lose weight. Not everyone's going to have it in their budget to work with you. Not everyone's actually going to be committed, but there's going to be one or two that actually do. So you have to be direct with it. People have to know exactly what they're looking at when they see your page, and have to think of you as a leader in your industry.
Dang, that's tight. He just broke it all down. Okay, and so then, say somebody does hit me up, right? Say I do everything that you just said the right way and my way. And somebody sees my post, they say, dang, man, I want to really train with Sennari. Let's see what this dude's about. So somebody hits me up, right? Where should I go from there, right? So like, hey, Sennari, see you do X, Y, and Z, man. You're really in shape. I want you to be my coach. Where do I go? What do I do? I want like a meal. I want a meal prep workout. And, all this stuff.
Right. So at the end of the day, the biggest thing is getting and being able to communicate with the individual. Mm-hmm. So I would always recommend trying to get on a phone call with them. So they hit you up. I hit you up. Hey, Jared, man, I really like what you do. I'm actually looking to lose, 15 pounds. I'm trying to get shredded for summer. What are your options? Like, what are your options for me? Mm-hmm. You just respond back like, if you honestly think that you can handle their goal, because sometimes people reach out to me and there'll be something that I don't even know. I can't. If it's something about an injury they're trying to recover from, I'll be like, hey, look, I'm not the best coach for you. I can help you find another coach. 'Cause you want to be able to give them good value. Mm-hmm. But if it is something that you know that you can help and you are confident that you're going to be able to help them accomplish this goal, then you go right in, like all in. I can help you with this goal. Let's hop on a phone call. And you have your schedule available. Don't ask them when they're available. You need to get their phone number. What's your phone number so you can call them?
Phone numbers, no text, no.
Get straight to the point.
All right.
You're gonna get wishy-washy, beat around the bush. Nah, just get straight to the point. Get their phone number. I mean, if they don't want to give you your phone number, then you have to work around that. But usually, if they're reaching out to you, they trust you and they want to learn about how you can help them. So they're gonna give you their phone number.
For sure.
And then you're gonna call them and talk to them about their goals and see if you can convert it into a client.
So a consultation call would normally go for you. It's just about addressing goals. It's about how long they're gonna stay with you, what to expect. Like, I mean, what would a consultation call actually look like? So if I were to call you, or you call me, whatever. Yeah. So if I'm calling a client, first off, I've been doing this for a while, so I have a pretty good. I want to say you can call it a funnel, as far as like a sales funnel or a different process that what's the word I'm looking for? The onboarding. An onboarding client is going to go through a specific process. So for me, because I run everything through Instagram, if you go to my Instagram, you can apply for my coaching. And what's going to happen is if they do that, if they go through the process correctly, they're actually going to book a consultation call with me. And through that process, they're going to fill out a form and it's going to have questions, really basic questions. Name, all the basic information like that, your height, weight, goals, foods you don't like, all that stuff that I might need if I'm actually going to sit down and create a program. So usually, believe it or not, people don't fill that out. Usually they just book the call and they don't even fill out the application form. So you just skip all the questions.
Yeah, or they for some reason don't see it, or they think that once they book the call, because the most important thing is booking the call. So I always have the option to book the call first. Right. So if they don't fill out the application form, I'm sometimes like, oh dang. But at the end of the day, that's not what matters. I got the call with them.
Right.
But if they do fill out the application form, then that makes my call so much easier because I'm going into the call, I already know all the information about them. I know what they want to do, but of course I still want to hear it from them. But if I don't know, if I don't have that information, I treat it the same way, honestly.
For sure.
I still go in, hey, this is Coach Stefan. I'm really excited you're able to reach out or be able to find me on Instagram. Talk to them about, how's your day going, all that little basic stuff, like 1 minute. And then let them know when it's going to change. Let them know that you're no longer just getting to know them. You're like, all right, let's get down to business now. Let's talk about your goals. Like, you got to let them know. They're in their head thinking about, okay, we're switching gears here. You let them know, all right, what are your goals? Let me know what your goals are, and I'll let you know if I can help you. They're going to tell you their goals. If you think you can help them, you tell them how you would help them. You break all that information down. You break down exactly. A lot of times people get so consumed in the delivery of it, as far as the delivery of what you're going to get. You're going to get 100 free workouts. You're going to get this or that. At the end of the day, people don't care about all that stuff they're going to get. They're just going to care if they get to their goal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we talk about.
So the results.
You talk about the results. You talk about how you can get to the results. You don't talk to them about where you're going to get 300 workout video demonstrations, even though you might give that. You're going to get a grocery list. You might give all that stuff, but you don't even need to talk about that stuff. You need to talk about how they're going to get from point A to point B. Mm-hmm. And if they feel like you can get to that point with them, then they'll hire you.
It's just like that.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you're going to have calls that you don't get clients. That's just part of the process. But if you're able to relate to them well, and I think just giving a call these days can make a big difference, because a lot of trainers don't do a call, online trainers. A lot of times it's just back and forth on Instagram or via email. Then, oh yeah, cool, I'll send you $100. Create my program for me. You send them the program, and that's that. You don't really talk to them after that. That's not what you want to do. You want to have a quality business. You want to have someone that's going to continue to come with you or continue to work with you each month. So you want to build that rapport right from the bat with the phone call. Like, let them know right from the beginning that you're truly invested in them.
So earlier you just mentioned how you have like a sales funnel where they go in, they fill out, all this information. Yeah. So for me, say as a beginner, is it necessary for me to have that? Like, if I want to be if I want to have an online business, do I need a website? Do I need a sales funnel? Do I need a trainer app? What do I need? What kind of resources should I?
No, you don't need it. Eventually, it's nice to have it. But like I was saying, at the end of the day, the client does not going to care if you have that if you can get them to the result. Okay. So if you know that and you're confident that you can get them to the result, how you get them there? If you get them there quickly, of course they went through quickly, but if you do it properly and they get there, that's what's going to matter. So you don't necessarily need that. I have it now because I've been trying to do this for a while. I'm trying to figure out how to make it as automated as possible. It's really easy for me to, because now I don't really have to do too much. If a client wants to possibly work with me, they see that I have this whole scheduling app, so they just schedule the call. So that just saves me time from having to try to figure out when we can get on the same page and where I can call them. So they can go in there and just schedule the call. So it's really just making it more, it just makes it easier and makes you have to be less involved in actually getting the calls. But do you need it? No, because at the end of the day, you just got to make sure you're interacting with them to get their phone number to call them. So in the website, no one really goes to your website. My website is not a website, it's my booking page. So I don't have like a website. It's a landing page that people will go to schedule a booking call. So the biggest thing is your Instagram or whatever social media platform that you're going to be using to drive most of your clients.
Okay. So, now let's just say me, still beginner, you know what I'm saying? I booked my first client, right?
Right.
My question to you is, how do you keep your clients engaged into the program that you set for them? So like, how do you make your workouts for them? I know this obviously they're individualized, but like, do you make your workouts like very intense, or do you make them like fun? So like, it's like, oh man, like, I can always go back to my trainer because he has good workouts. He has good stuff for me to do. Or, because people don't like to bust their balls in the gym. You know what I'm saying? People will bust their balls not thinking they busting their balls. You know what I'm saying? So like how do you build your program around that? Is it just...
Yeah, that's a tough question to answer because like you first mentioned, it's very dependent on the client. So each person is going to be different, especially when you're working online. Right now I have clients in different parts of the world. I have female clients, I have male clients. I have clients that are older, I have clients that are younger. So you have to be open to being able to, work around people's needs. But that's also going to depend on what your niche is. Some trainers might have a very specific niche, so they're going to have more of a solid idea of how they're going to approach things. For me, I'm always listening to the client and seeing what works best. So I'm just all over the place when it comes to how I'm going to approach it. But I always have, of course, like my foundational beliefs. When it comes to online training, I think this might be something you might want to consider when it comes to online training, is that a lot of it, if you're talking about weight loss clients, and even people that are trying to gain muscle mass, a lot of it's going to be focusing on nutrition. People really downplay that. And in comparison to in-person training, that's where I think online training, you have to take a completely different approach, even though in-person training, you should still be taking this approach. But in in-person training, clients and trainers tend to focus on that singular hour session with their client, because that's what they're paying for.
Right. They're
paying for, oh, I got a session at 6 p.m. with Stefan. They're paying for that hour with you. With the online training, if it's programming, you're not doing any like virtual sessions, then they're not paying for a singular hour with you. They're paying for you to get them to their result, to their goal. So you have to figure out what is the thing that's going to be most important for them to get to their goal. And for most people, especially weight loss, it's nutrition. So you have to figure out how can you really get them to dial in with the nutrition, and then you'll see so much more success as a trainer, because your clients will see more success. So they'll be happier. So that's I think it's a kind of like a hidden positive of online training, is that you can really start to focus more and get the client to understand that nutrition is probably going to play a bigger role than the actual fitness itself.
Right.
Because
that's what they say. Yeah.
I mean, it's true. Depending on your goal. But if your goal, let's just talk about general population, goal is to get in better shape, nutrition is going to be huge. Even for athletes, nutrition is always going to be huge. But you get what I'm saying? If you're just focusing on 1 hour with the person, they have 23 other hours in the day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there's so many things that go into building a dream physique, into building a healthier, happier lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. It's not just a singular hour. So I think that's one of the benefits, and the things that I, as an online coach, and even when I coach in person, I try to focus on understanding the lifestyle and understanding, getting the client to understand how important nutrition is. So the workouts, like you're saying, is it intense? Is it not intense? I don't know. I don't always see, because they could lie to me for all I know. I'm not there, and they can lie about the nutrition too. But obviously, if you try to really get them to take photos of their food, you can do little things like that to make sure that they're staying engaged.
Monitor them and
You can make sure you're tracking that on MyFitnessPal or other apps, and that way they can share their MyFitness profile with you, so you can see what they're eating and stuff like that. So I think that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing, is understanding that everyone's different. But for the most of the time, if you can really alter someone's nutrition, they're going to go a long way.
Yeah. Well, I also had another question about clients. I always wondered, so I know I can't personally relate to this, but I've seen this, right? So the hardest thing for somebody to stay consistent when it comes to working out is the time, of course, and there's probably other factors too. So like timing, with their daily regimen, what they're doing throughout the day. But like, how do you keep clients? How do I ask this? How do you keep clients motivated? How do you keep them like? How do you make them what's the fucking word? Yeah. How do you make them resilient? How do you motivate them to get through a workout or through a program? You know what I'm saying? How do you keep them from getting discouraged? Like, damn, I'm not, they look at the scale and it's like, shit, I haven't lost nothing. Yeah. Like, how do you do that?
It's really, it can be hard. Obviously, when you're training someone in person, you can be there and be like, yo, let's go, come on, bro, let's go. You can hype them up. With the online game, it's completely different. I think the biggest thing is the interaction has to be genuine, and you just can't just be like, you have to actually get to know someone and knows what drives them. And then, of course, most people are going to be results driven. So if they're not seeing results, then you're most likely going to have to, usually if they're not seeing results and they're actually following everything to a T, like they're following the plan perfectly and they're not seeing results, the plan needs to change. Because obviously, maybe not, if it's just 1 week or 2 weeks, it takes time. But if they're not seeing results, you have to be willing and understanding you have to change the program. Because that's what they're here for. They're here for results. But if everything's following to a T and they're not seeing results, and you change the program and things still aren't going well, then it's a tough spot. But you have to look at yourself in the mirror as a trainer and be like, okay, am I doing the right things? And I think a lot of times at the beginning, when I usually take on a client, the beginning is always the hardest, because what happens at the beginning of almost every client that I have, a lot of times they're not eating properly to begin with. So we have to get them doing the right things to start. So if I have a weight loss client, a lot of times they're already eating low calorie because that's what you think naturally. You're going to think, I want to lose weight, let me eat less calories. But that only works for so long. Your body's metabolism gets all messed up. Your body doesn't react well after a certain amount of time. Or you're just not eating right. So what we need to do is first have a metabolism hormone reset. So we got to make sure we're getting the body what it needs. And at the beginning, that can be really tough for people to understand because I might actually be increasing your calories before we decrease them. Talking about weight loss here. So if I'm increasing your calories, getting you to a good maintenance level, getting your body what it needs, a lot of times people are going to be like, okay, he's increasing. I have more calories. I feel like I'm eating more food than I was before, but my goal is to lose weight. You just have to keep telling them the science about why this is supposed to happen. Because if you're only eating, for example, if a client comes on board with me and he or she, we'll go with a female client, she's only eating 1,100 calories. Obviously, that's too little calories.
Right.
So
for anybody,
especially female, for anyone. But if she's only eating that many calories, in her head she's thinking, oh, I'm going to eat less calories, I'm going to lose weight. Yeah, it'll work at first, but then your body's going to go all out of whack and it's going to plateau and you're going to feel like crap and you're not going to be able to maintain that. Even if you were losing weight, you're not going to be able to maintain it for a long period of time. It's just not sustainable. It's not healthy. It's not right. So my thought process is when I bring her on is, okay, we need to bring these calories up, get your metabolism right, get your hormones right, get your body feeling good in a good spot. So we're going to bring those calories up. Bring them up maybe 250, 300 a week, maybe not a week, but every couple weeks, depending on how our body responds, until we get to a point, maybe we end up around, maybe around 1,800 calories, somewhere around there. And a lot of times when I do that, they actually don't gain weight, or if they do gain weight, it might be very minimal, but they feel like they're eating more. And that's probably the hardest part, is just getting them to understand why we're doing that, getting them to understand the thought process behind it. But once they get behind it, because sometimes when I increase calories, they actually lose weight because their body's responding well to to eating properly.
So the lack of eating and eating so little calories is actually counterproductive.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it will work if you're trying to lose weight. Obviously, you eat less, it's going to happen.
Right.
But it won't. It's not going to be sustainable.
Right.
And it's especially if you're trying to build some muscle too, which is you're not going to be able to build any muscle at all in that steep of a calorie deficit. Your body's going to go your hormones are going to be messed up, metabolism is going to be shot. So it's not something that you're going to sustain, and you're going to feel like crap. So it's always best to be able to lose weight with the most amount of calories that you can.
Okay.
So that's the process that I always have to kind of get to, like a starting point that I have to get to with the majority of my clients that I take on. Not all the time, because sometimes you have clients that are eating in a calorie surplus, and then you're good. You can make that transition pretty quickly. But if you have a client that's in a really steep deficit, you have to slowly get them up to the point where their body's responding well to eating what it should be eating. And then from there, you can start to drop the calories lower again and see how their body responds after having that solid reset period.
Damn. So from all of that, so basically what you're saying is the way you keep your clients motivated and you keep them in the game is basically make sure that you're on target with the results, basically.
That's it. But you also, at the beginning, it's tough because the results that they're looking for you might not be going in that direction. You're going in the direction long term, but initially,
but not
so that can be a tough spot at the beginning. But as long as you reinforce it and you break down the science, and if they're willing and they really want to make a lifestyle change, they'll listen and they can research it themselves, and if they really want to, and they'll see that, okay, this is correct, and they'll start to notice that they feel better as they eat more calories. It's always going to be results driven. Like if my clients don't receive results, I'm disappointed. And they're disappointed too. Obviously, they're spending money, they're spending time. If they're adhering to the plan and not seeing results, that sucks. So somewhere in there, I mean, I'm very confident in my knowledge. So I know that somewhere in there, if they're not seeing results, what can I do better to make them see results? So yeah, I mean, if they're not seeing results, something has to change. Either they're not adhering to the plan, or I'm not implementing a solid program. So yeah, I mean, it's the results are going to keep everyone going.
Damn. Shoot, bro. I think I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go train somebody.
I feel you, man.
I
For
think
sure.
I'm ready to train somebody right now, bro.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome.
And I know you didn't ask this question, and it might not matter as much in today's climate with the pandemic going on. But I do have people on Instagram that have asked me probably my biggest advice as far as making a decent living from personal training. And I'm still trying to I'm not balling right now or anything like that as far as my business. I've been doing this for over 7 years, but I won't say I didn't make any like money I was happy with until I went independent. So that's probably the biggest thing, because right now it's not
independent, like no gym.
No gym, not because I worked on a first personal training job I was working at after I got my certification. I worked at Anytime Fitness as just a trainer there, and that's cool. You have to get some experience, gain the knowledge, but as soon as you feel ready and you have people and you have a platform, like you have 17K followers, you have a platform.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go into it like independent right away. When I started, I wasn't even on Instagram. So, I had to of course I was gaining knowledge and learning, but I also had to get a platform to people that are actually interested in what I do. So go independent, because otherwise you're not going to make that much money. Because if the gym is charging them like $60 an hour or something, you're only getting like $20 of that. Maybe if you're a master trainer, you might get like $30 or half of it or something. So definitely go independent. Otherwise you're just going to be like upset the whole time. And then as far as even online, because I also worked with a company that just had a lot of they had a really large platform online, and I was a trainer online for another company that was like a bigger, broader business that had online trainers work for them. And even there, that was even worse than in person, because then they feel like they can really just put you on with a whole bunch of people, because this online training is not as taxing, but it really is. And so even then that was horrible too. So make sure that you get into your own space as soon as possible, as soon as you feel ready. That way you can actually make a solid income. So that would probably be another thing you want to keep in mind, is always try to be independent when you're ready. It's good that if you don't have a platform to get new clients, then you might have to work with someone and start to build your own platform.
And so how do you base your rates, your worth? Like, do you base your rate on like your experience? I mean, maybe so, or do you do it based on like what you're offering, like your services? Like, how does that work? So,
I mean, when I look at health and fitness, I think it's a super, super important industry. And there's a lot of crap in this industry as far as what people are selling. Mm-hmm. And I have my certifications. I have my degree in exercise physiology. I've been doing this with myself, with more than hundreds of people at this point. So I really value and know that what I know and what I have helped people with has changed lives. And I know that. You can say, obviously, I don't have a doctorate degree. I'm not a doctor. But my clients hopefully will never even have to go to a doctor, because they're in good health. So they're not going to get diabetes. They're not going to have that American diet. They're going to be in good shape. So it's a preventative measure, essentially. I don't do any like rehab for that type of stuff. That's not my lane. But as far as taking someone and making sure that they're healthy, making sure that they're setting themselves up for a life of success, health is the foundation of happiness. And you can especially see it in today's world. The people that really were affected, it's sad to say, by COVID were individuals that weren't healthy. Of course, you have people that had some type of immune issues that they might have been born with, but then you have people that were obese, people that were just in bad health. They weren't able to fight this disease as well. That's just a prime example of why health and fitness is so important. So I know that it's super valuable. And of course, I want to be able to help as many people as possible, but I also want to be able to have my freedoms and be able to live the life I want to lead. So I have to, put a worth on it. And I know that there's people out there that will understand that it is valuable, and they will invest in their wealth. Just like people invest in their education. This is just as important, if not more important, to invest in your health. Mm-hmm. So you have to be willing as a client, as a person, to invest in your health. And yeah, if you know, as a trainer, if you know that you're do good quality work, you should have no problem knowing your worth in it and understanding that people are going to invest in it. So, you have to name your price.
Yeah. That's some real shit. Remember, y'all take notes on this. The dude's preaching. And so, what are your long-term goals with this fitness thing? Because I know you say you want the freedoms to travel, right? So,
Right.
What would you, in an ideal world, right? You're successful. You're great. You're well off. What do you want to do with this? Do you see yourself in this forever?
I mean, that's kind of undetermined. That's I don't really have a long-term goal with fitness specifically. My long-term goal is just to be able to see as much of the world as possible, and I think that fitness can be my instrument. It's been my instrument my whole life so far, whether it's sports, athletics, and then now into this personal training business. And I've been to when I went to China in 2019, that was my first experience being able to actually impact people in different countries that can't even speak my language, but they understand that health and fitness is important. And I was able to I actually helped the individual there who was diabetic. By the time I left, he was no longer on any diabetes medicine, and we couldn't even speak the same language, and I was coaching him. So those type of experiences were like, that's just so amazing to me. I was like,
that's just one of them.
Right. So that's amazing. Like, that's one person I impacted in a completely different country, and I was able to, that experience for them, they got better health. That experience for me, I got to see, I saw a whole different culture. Like, that was so cool. And that was all through fitness. The only reason I was there is because some people there believed that I could help them. And that's what I went there and did. But while I was there, I was able to experience more. So I think that fitness is going to be my instrument to be able to see more of the world and also be able to help people around the world, even though we don't speak the same language, we don't have the same culture. So that for me is kind of where I would like to take it and make it as global as possible. But my end goal isn't necessarily like I don't necessarily feel like I need to like own a gym or something like that. There's nothing like that. It's just be able to be as flexible as possible and do one of the things that I love, which is fitness. I don't necessarily love weight training, but I love being healthy. I love being active. And there's, no matter where you go in the world, you can be active. That's just part of life. Like, all over the world, there's places you can hike and go play sports. Like, I played basketball in China with all these people, and that was such a cool experience. So just being active and being fit and being someone that people can look up to and be like, yo, this dude's letting health be the foundation of happiness for him and impacting people around the world. So that's kind of somewhat of a vision. There's no legit as far as structural goal with it. It's just kind of just see how it goes.
Keep an open mind and keep an open heart, though. That's dope, bro. Because you can make fitness fun, just like sports. You know what I'm saying? It's dope. That's cool, bro.
Yes, sir.
Shit, man. That's
I guess that's a wrap. Shoot,
bro. I mean,
I hope
I've
you guys.
asked all my questions.
I hope you guys. I hope Jared, you too took some valuable stuff from that. And I hope anyone that listened through this whole thing. That's crazy. I appreciate you if you did. And hopefully you were able to gain something. But yeah, I mean, fitness is an awesome space, and it's a very rewarding space as well, because the people that I've helped, you can really impact someone's life with fitness. It's crazy.
No,
sure. Obviously, as a business person, you want to think about making money, but at the same time, what's really important is the client's result. And if they have good results, the money's going to come. Mm-hmm. The money's going to come if you have good results. And you can't even be ashamed of making good money in fitness if you're doing it right, because you're literally helping someone live a healthier life. So it's if you're charging a whole bunch, they're just living and they're paying it and they're having an awesome, healthy life, then shoot, it's all good.
Yeah, there's nothing better than looking at yourself in the mirror, being able to see your muscles pop, or seeing different features of your body that you haven't before.
And of course, it's not just
being able to.
It's not
more
just
than that.
It's not just physical. It's obviously huge.
Feeling better.
The whole mental component. And that's so huge in today's world. I mean, there's so many people struggling with depression, anxiety, and fitness can be an outlet. It can be a way that you can really invest in yourself. And if you have better health, better control of your body, more in tune with your body, everything else will be better. You'll be able to fall in line in other places in life as well.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, there's nothing better than just being mobile. Being able to just walk, be able to just
Yeah,
run
I mean,
and do
it's crazy when you think about what's going on in the world, and you just think like, I'm just happy to be healthy. And the body's so phenomenal. You have some like minor issue, and it throws off the whole homeostasis of the body, and you're like, damn.
Yeah.
Damn. You know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah.
it's a blessing that, you know, I'm very thankful and blessed that I haven't had any crazy health issues or anything. And I believe that the lifestyle I live will, that's more likely for me to be able to fight off anything that if were to come my way. Hopefully it never does, but you never know. Life happens, things happen. So if anything were to come my way, I feel like I've prepared myself to be able to fight it to the best of my ability.
Right on, y'all. Don't ever take your body for granted. You know what I'm saying? You got
Facts.
2 feet, 2 legs, 2 arms. You better use them, man.
Right.
You move.
Yep.
Stay mobile till you drop.
I hear that, man. But all right, Jared.
My
Cool.
dog.
All right, guys.
Peace out.